Good morning. Black Crow Walking here, bringing you a study in A Course of Love by Mari Perron. Let's show you the book. We are currently studying the prelude to the book, and we're up to we're up to prelude 25, but I'm going to actually read prelude 24 again. We won't study that today. We'll start at 25, but just so you get the gist of what's going on here. The Course speaks of patience that is infinite. God is patient, but the world is not. God is patient, for God sees you only as you are. The Christ in you is also still and ever present, but the weakening done your ego by learning whatever learning you have done has left room for strength. A strength that entered as if by a little hole made in your ego's armour. A strength that grows and grows, impatient with delay. It is not your ego that grows impatient for change, for your ego is highly invested in things remaining the same. It is rather a spirit of compassion that reels at the senselessness of misery and suffering. A spirit that seeks to know what to do. A spirit that does not believe in the answers it has been given. That was yesterday's. The way to overcome the dualism that threatens even the most astute of learners is through the Christ in you. Through the one who knows what it is to be God's child, and also to walk the earth as child of man. This is not your helper, as the Holy Spirit is, but your identity. While the Holy Spirit was properly called upon to change your perception and show you the false from the true, your recognition of the Christ in you is proper in this time of identification of your undivided self. So they're talking about the dualism between being a child of God and being a child of man. The child of man works from his identity. It comes from his identity, his personality, his egoic mind. The child of God comes from calling in the Holy Spirit to change our false perceptions into showing us what is true. Let us for the moment speak of the family of God in terms of the family of man, in terms, in short, that you will recognize. In the family of man there are many families, but it is called one family, the family of man. It is called one species, the human species. Within this family of man are individual families, and among them that which you call your family. A family has many members, but it is called one family. All of its members are descended from the same ancestors, the same bloodline. Within the bloodline are genes that carry particular traits and predispositions. Within the bloodline, I've read that bit. A child of one family may resemble the child of another distant relative, or a relative who lived and died many years previously. You see nothing odd or foreign about this. This is the nature of family as you understand family. And beyond the physical nature of families, the bloodlines and the ancestors that hold the family together as one in love is love. The family is, in fact, the only place where unconditional love is seen as acceptable. Thus, no matter how good one child is perceived to be, and how bad another is perceived to be, the love of the parent for the child is the same. A son and a daughter does not earn the love that is given him or her, and this too is seen as acceptable and even right. So I think we understand what that is all about. They're just describing how we behave in the family, although there are some differences there because not all family members like each other, do they? And certainly they don't all feel that oneness of family. And I think there's stages as we grow where the daughter pushes the mother away so she can establish being the mother, and the son pushes the father away so he can establish his power as a man. And those things, and then eventually we all come back together, and the younger care for the older in a lot of ways. We can't choose our family. And there are a lot of dysfunctional families around. There really is. And, there is let's look at it a little bit. Let us for a moment speak of the family of God in terms of the family of man, in short, that you would recognize. So we're going to talk about the family of God in terms of the family of man. In the family of man, there are many families, but it is called one family. So if we look at that, we are one. We are one. That's all. We are all the same. We are God's Spirit, the Holy Spirit, experiencing life in form for the evolution of mankind, for the evolution of God. God is always learning. And for those people who can't deal with the word God, let's replace it with love. As God is love. So in the family of man, there are many families, but it is called one family, the family of man. It is called one species, the human species. I guess we call love or God love. We call love one love. It is universal. It is infinite, always. That which you call your family. A family has many members, but it is called one family. And that's who we are, one family. All of its members are descended from the same ancestors and the same bloodline. Within that bloodline are genes that carry particular traits and predispositions. A child of one family may resemble the child of another distant relative or a relative who lived and died many years previously. You see nothing odd or foreign about this. This is the nature of family, as you understand family, and beyond the physical nature of families, the bloodline and the ancestors that hold that family together as one is love. So as a child of love, we are held together by that oneness. The family is in fact the only place where unconditional love is seen as acceptable. What is unconditional love? It's not putting conditions on love. I'll only love you if. And it's the mother that always loves the child. Even though they're naughty, they're doing things to test and try. We still love them, don't we? Yeah. We love the very essence of them. We might not love what they do, but we certainly love them. Thus, no matter how good a child is perceived to be, or how bad another is perceived to be, the love of the parent for the child is the same. It doesn't change. It's the same with the love from Holy Spirit, and love from God, and love from divinity, love from source energy, the supreme consciousness, all those beautiful words that describe the same thing, and we will call it love. That love is always there for us. It never changes. It's infinite. It has no boundaries and borders. It is just there. And it never changes. It's always the same. Could you even imagine God saying, I'll only love you if? No, it's not like that. And yet we have a dysfunctional religious system that would tell us that God is, I'll only love you if. But it's not true. Love is always there. And that is the beauty of awakening to love, of being conscious in love, knowing that it's never changing, that it's always there for you. A son or a daughter does not earn the love that is given him or her. Although I've been told many times, you need to earn my respect, blah, blah, blah. There's that conditional love again. You need to earn my trust. But with the Son of God, there is no earning. There's only evolution. There's only observation of that evolution. Oh, that's what you're doing now. Okay, let's celebrate that with you. Sorry, my phone's going off. So, a son or a daughter does not earn the love that is given him or her, and this too is seen as acceptable and even right. We all yearn for that functional family that loves us unconditionally. And we're all wounded children, not having our needs met, when that family is not able, not capable of loving us unconditionally. Obviously, the nature of God is different than the nature of man. God does not have physical form and does not produce physical offspring. God does, however, have a son, a child, and an offspring, who must exist in some form like unto the Father. Within the story of the human race, there is a story about the coming of God's Son, Jesus Christ, who was born, grew into a man, died and rose again, to live on in some form other than that of a man. Those who believe the story have accepted that Jesus was the Son before he was born, while he walked the earth, and after he died and resurrected. Whether this is your belief or not, it comes close to the truth in the form that you can understand. Jesus is simply the example life, the life that demonstrates what it means to be a child of God. So basically, Jesus Christ is symbolic for the child of God. And that child of God was here before it was born physically on the earth. It was here before, it was here after. It was after it died the physical existence on the earth. It's still here, wherever here is. And that is who you are. You did not start to exist when you became a seed in the womb of your mother. You already were. You are the energy of love, experiencing life in form. Or you are the energy of divinity, experiencing life in form. For what purpose? For evolution. For what purpose? So that the collective consciousness of everything can learn and grow. Excuse me. And constantly change. So, if you're not constantly changing and in motion, watch out. All I can say is watch out, because you're not in alignment with the universe, which is in constant motion and change. I mean, you've only got to look at the sky to see that it constantly is in motion and change. You've only got to look at the weather. You've only got to look at the wind and the water. Everything is in constant motion and change. And that is the same as what's happening in your body. Everything is in constant motion and change. I mean, even the food that you put in your body is constantly changing. So when we align with that constant motion and change, we learn. We learn through experience, and the collective consciousness is learning through us. So you're not just learning for yourself. There you go, there's a concept. You're not just learning for yourself. You're learning for the collective consciousness of everything. Everything expands and grows as you grow. You're learning for your team, your archangels, your angels, your spirit guides, your ancestors, your descended masters, your runner guides, your beautiful, beautiful finder guides. You know, they're all learning through you. They're all invested in your journey, your internal journey. They don't care what you do on the outside of you. It doesn't matter that you get up and you go to work, or you get up and you go and take the children to school, or you go to tennis, or it doesn't matter what you do. It's not who you are. That's just your personality. That's your egoic mind that is invested in the external life to keep you separate and individualized. And we've talked about this before. But your internal journey is the one that is impatient for you to step up and begin to ask those beautiful questions. Who am I? What am I here for? What's my purpose? And to begin that internal journey that sometimes without loss, major loss, can't begin to understand those questions that lead you inwards. Who am I? The best question in the world. Who am I? Take your body off and have a look. Take your body off and have a look at who this spirit is that's inside you. This beautiful, beautiful spirit. And that is why when you join your mind with the mind of love, when you join your heart with the heart of love, when you join your will with the will of love, the Holy Spirit is there, and all your team are excited because they get to be involved in this process of learning and growing with you. So, beloveds, that's enough for today. I hope you have the most delicious, glorious day, and that together today we experience love in all its forms, and we share it out from our heart to all hearts. May you be blessed. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.